All right, so this last strategy is about pinpointing a place in the text to help figure out where you're getting confused and then going and troubleshooting that specific place. So here's what I suggest. I would suggest asking yourself these questions. Are there confusing words or phrases? And if so, go look them up or ask someone who knows and see if that helps. Are there details in the text you missed? So if you get to something like, could I reread some portion? If you find some specific spot. For the example I'm going to use, I'm going to go back to the same place I did in the last video. Right in that spot where the main character says, I volunteer, I gasp, I volunteer as tribute. So if you're reading that and you get confused, and all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm reading along and this doesn't make sense anymore. Skim back to the point where you know for sure that was the point I got confused. So for example, if I'm reading through here and I keep going down, 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 and all of a sudden I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to skim backwards until I find that exact spot where I kind of lost my way, or that exact spot where I lost track of what was going on. Let's say, for example, it's this line, I volunteer as tribute. Now I'm trying to figure out, well, what is it that I don't understand about this? Could I go back and reread? Do I not understand why the person would be volunteering? Or do I not understand the word volunteer? If you understand the word volunteer, which is like someone who says they'll do something, then you don't understand why the character is doing the thing they're doing. That would be a good time to go back up to the top and keep skimming along and figure out why they're doing that thing. Now, if it's a word, say, for example, you don't know what the word tribute means. Well, in this case, this is actually a really tricky word. If you missed it from the text and you don't know what this word means, this is actually a really hard word to figure out within the Hunger Games. So here's a strategy for doing that. Sometimes your books will use the exact definition of the word. So let's say I go to Google and I type tribute. And now I'll go look up the word tribute. And I guess it's right there on Google for me. It says a tribute is often in kind that one party gives to another as a sign of respect, or is often the case, a historical context of submission or allegiance. And I understand how this definition could be applied to the Hunger Games, but if it doesn't make sense to you, you're kind of like, oh, still, what's a tribute? Maybe you could try troubleshooting it by looking up the word and the name of your book at the same time. So like tribute, Hunger Games. Now I came across like the Hunger Games wiki. What is a tribute? Residents of the 12 districts are forced to participate in the Hunger Games. Oh, a tribute is a person who's forced to participate in the Hunger Games. So now I know the definition of that word, and I can go back and fix up that place in the text I got confused at, and I can keep reading. So the key here is that when you get confused or you find yourself confused, go back and find the specific place in the story where you started to get confused, and then unlock that part by either rereading or looking up the definition so that you can keep on going and have the other stuff make sense.